Hello, hello, hello. If I am live, please put a zero down below. If I'm live, put a zero down below. We are doing the pre-live dance. I call it the pre-live dance because there's this brief period of time before you know exactly whether or not you're live. And it's kind of like the one thing says yes, but the timer hasn't started and the comment section is blank. So if I'm live, let me know. Dana put a zero inside the chat so I know I'm live. I am ready to go. So, how one of my mentorship students signed another client for $4,000 per month. Basically, she locked in a company for about $48,000 per year for this deal, and that's not counting the cleanup that came with it. So, rereading my my writing, I was like all over the place when I wrote that title for the video, but I think you guys get the point. Now, hello, Dano. Hello, Jessica. Great to see you guys. Thanks so much for coming. I really appreciate you. Okay, so this is going to be a really important thing, okay? We're going to be talking about how to price your services like way higher, how to do the marketing so that people trust you a lot more, and also how to make sure that you can bridge the gap between someone who wants to pay you a lot of money versus someone who's willing to pay you a lot of money versus someone who is paying you money. Okay, so before we can get into that, there's some housewarming things we have to go. If you're watching this thing live, write in hashtag team live so I know you're live and go ask you some questions. I'll even give you a Q&A at the end if there's people live. If you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and write in hashtag team replay so I can actually send you either a free gift or make sure that if I give like something away live, I'll put it so you guys can also get it if you're watching the replay. Also write hashtag connect if you want me to connect with you and answer some questions you might have about growing your business. And finally, if you want to see how I can help you grow your business in the shortest, fastest time possible towards reaching your goal inside of my private mentorship program, go ahead and click on the link inside the description below to book a call with me to see if I can help you. We'll give more details about that, but first let's kind of jump into with some value. Number one, okay, so pricing. It's very hard for you to find a client that's going to pay you $4,000 per month if the highest price labeled on your website is $1,500 per month. Okay, now that's one of the biggest things that I see whenever I talk to someone who is, maybe they're an accountant or they're a bookkeeper, they're trying to raise their price, they're trying to charge more, but whenever someone gets on the phone, it's like the most they're willing to pay you is like $1,500. And that's generally because you have locked yourself into a specific price on your website. A good example of this was I was on a consultation call with a young lady, and she was like, I'm trying to raise my prices. I'm trying to grow, and I'm trying to make sure I can get people who are willing to pay me 5,000 a month. I said, okay, well, how do people actually come and book a call with you? Well, they go to my website first, and there's a link for them to book a call. Okay, cool. And do you have your prices listed on your website? She goes, yeah, I have like three packages. I have like a bronze, a silver, and a gold. Okay, cool. Well, what's your gold package? My gold package is $1,700 a month. I said, okay, so first, the people come through your website, right? That means they've looked through your whole website before they book a call in a lot of cases. She said, yes. Okay. Secondly, if they've looked through your website and they've seen your prices page, they know your highest price is your gold package, which is generally like $1,700 a month, right? Yeah. Okay, well, if the highest thing they can buy is $1,700 a month, why would they ever expect to pay you $5,000 a month? There's kind of a disconnect there. So you have to prime people. The way we like to do that is, I mean, one, for most of my students, we don't even have websites for our accounting or bookkeeping business. We use our LinkedIn profiles or your social media profiles as the website. That's number one. Number two, if you already have a website, I would recommend removing the prices from your website. You can have the packages and what they include if you really want to, but you got to make sure that you are in control of the sale at all times. You want to know exactly what information the person who's coming on your phone is going to be knowing. So if they know what your prices are ahead of time, it's really really hard for you to kind of do a custom program or a custom package because they have it locked into their mind how much they're going to want to pay. And most people, they're going to want to choose the lowest price package that they can possibly fit into if you allow them to. So take off your prices and then make it so that the consultations where you can actually decide whether or not one, it's a good fit, and two, exactly which service and at what price point is right for that specific person. Now, the next thing you have to think, and before I even go any further, is there any questions on this? Or write a one down in the chat if you are fully understanding what I mean by how to give your pricing better. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit further about that, but I want to make sure that I'm not leaving anybody behind on the beginning. Okay, this is a part of branding. Some people talk to me like, hey, I want to know what to put on my website. I want to know exactly like whether my content's working. But if this basic stuff is not taken care of before you do anybody or get anyone seeing you on the website, it's just not going to work. You have to have your basics foundations in place. So write a one if that makes sense. I see a couple ones inside the chat, so I'm ready to move on to 1.2. Okay, next thing, pricing. Okay, pricing is not real. A lot of people they get very very like squeamish whenever they talk about their money or they talk about their price or they talk about getting someone to pay them a certain amount of money. And that's because they generally think that money is very hard to come by and that business owners are struggling. You really have to kind of change the way you think about that because think about it. If you're going to a company like, for example, like a solar company, do you know that most solar projects, when they're starting, they start at $10,000? They can even have projects up to $30,000 for certain residential homes, and that's not counting if they do commercial roofing or commercial solar power. Some of these contracts can be hundreds of thousands of dollars. You don't think they have, $1,000 a month to give you? Well, let's say, for example, a construction company. A construction company, and for example, Mike, he gets paid about $8,000 a month from this construction company that's only about 6 months old, right? How are they able to do that? Well, because they just got a loan for $1.5 million dollars in the first 3 months they're in business because the guy had come from that industry and he was just going on his own. So he had so much experience and the bank just allowed him to be able to go do that, to do what was necessary to go and grow the business because he has a proven track record inside that industry and he's worked closely with the banks before. All that to say is, if they can get a $1.5 million loan that easily, they can afford to pay you a good, like, just a good amount of money. You just have to believe they can. If you go in instead and you're thinking, oh, money's really tight, people can't afford to pay me, you're going to reflect that in the way you're speaking. I was on a call today with one of my students, um, and she's doing a really good amount of money. She's doing like anywhere between $13,000 to $14,000 per month in top line revenue. And when she was talking about her pricing with the gentleman, like she like paused and she said it like really sheepishly, and I was like, whoa, what's up? And then she was like, well, it was just higher than what I was expecting it to be when I put it inside of your pricing calculator. And I was just kind of nervous. I was like, okay, let's take a step back. So the first thing we talked about was, hey, one, you don't really need the money. You don't need this person to say yes because she's already at $14,000 a month. But now that she's getting close to her goal of $20,000 per month, she's starting to get a little bit scared of it. So she's creating like different things inside of her head that we're working through so she can actually hit that $20,000 per month mark. Now, one of them is just kind of getting her to the understanding that she doesn't really need the money. She more is trying to just get good fits into her business, and it just so happens that they're higher price per month. And it's just like just relax, breathe, charge a price that's higher than what it maybe the work otherwise suggests because you don't need the clients at this moment in time. You're actually doing these people a favor because they just can't really function without you, and they might have been trying to do it in the past, but it's always messing up. They don't have bills paid on time. They never know exactly how much they're supposed to be paying their employees or even their contractors per month. They really need your help in order to grow and function as a business owner. Okay, but if you're not given the price that you deserve, it's going to cause them not to give you the respect that you should be commanding. And when you give them a piece of advice like, hey, your expenses are way too high in this specific category compared to every single other person inside your industry, they're not going to respect you if they're only paying you $150 a month. Okay? So you have to really change your mind. Money is not real. Money is not real. The same person is willing to pay someone about, for example, I have a VA. I pay about $1,000 a month to hit publish on some of my posts, to watch over my Facebook group, to do a bunch of little things. Versus there's another one, and I pay him like $300 a month. Is it that the first one is giving me three times the value? Not necessarily. It's just one. The first one asked for a way higher hourly rate. Two, she commanded the higher hourly rate, and the other guy didn't. He was good, taking an average amount of money. It's the same thing with your accounting and bookkeeping services. It's what are you willing to ask for? Two, what do you actually believe that you're worth? Number three, what is the lowest amount that you're actually willing to tolerate? And as long as you know those three things, you can afford to go as high as possible. And you can negotiate down to what is your, mid range or what is your real target. Hello, Asim. Hello, Jasmine Holston. Great to see you guys. Great to see you guys. Thank you for coming live. Okay, so pricing is all in your head, guys. It's all in your head. And a lot of people like they have trouble because they're like, I'm trying to get the business owner to charge like what my value is. And as soon as you get on the phone with the person and the person kind of disrespects the price by like going really low, you take it personally. You're like, oh, they don't value me. And it's like, no, it's not they don't value you. It's just that the way that we describe how we're going to help them out is not valuable enough for them to want to pay you more money. People are willing to pay whatever they want. And in the same breath that a lady said that this company was not really wanting to pay her any money, I was like, okay, so is it they have a really tight budget? She goes, no, they just don't respect me. I said, well, how can you tell? She said, well, I looked at their bills, and they have a $5,000 per month like eating bill. Like they just go to a restaurant, like company lunches they call them, and it's 5 grand a month. I was like, oof. Yet at the same time, they say they can't afford to pay her, more than $300 a month. They can, it's just they don't value what she's doing enough to go and do so. So let's even talk about how can we go and to go and kind of explain a slightly different way. Cool. I see a couple twos inside of the chat below. So check your internet. Your internet stream experience some connection issues. Okay, cool. So next thing we'll talk about is marketing. Okay, so how to actually go and get these people to know you exist. Number one is trust. Okay, so a lot of people they have a lot of trouble getting these higher valued business owners to give them any kind of money, right? You maybe say your price is like 5 grand a month and they kind of ghost you. The way that you can get around that is by first adding value to them for what we call a foot in the door just kind of event. So, for example, Audrey, she had her first client paid her about $4,000 a month. They still pay her 4 grand a month to this day. But the way that she got them was she did what's called a mini project and then a QuickBooks training. So the person had they had to do like a mini cleanup. Like they just let go of their previous CPA and they needed to be caught up for like the year. So it was like I think it was like March or January where she first got them. So they needed 3 months of catch up. So it's really easy work. She charged them, accordingly. She charged them correctly. Then what the person wanted was, hey, can you maybe like train me on how to do this myself? And most people are like, no, I'm not going to teach you what I know. The way that my students generally think about doing QuickBooks training is we're using it as a way to build trust, to show the business owner why they can't do it themselves, and thirdly, to build our value because it's a lot of work, especially if they have a really big business. They're not going to want to do this themselves, right? So she helped her. She sat with her for about 2 hours. The lady kind of said, thank you. Oh, man, this is great. About 2 weeks later, the lady came back and said, hey, what if you just did this for us? Like, are you willing to do that on an ongoing basis? And she goes, yeah. She ran through the scope because she already been doing the work with them. She knew exactly what the price that she was supposed to charge them was. She said the price. The person's like, okay, cool, let's do it. And then now a year later, they're still paying her money. So that's how you start getting it, okay? You have to start thinking about how can I build trust? How can I get my foot in the door? An alternative way that you can go to add trust and add what's called social proof is by having testimonials. You can have testimonial interviews where you're sitting with yourself and a client and you're just interviewing about their experience. You could do it with yourself and a former employee. You could do it with yourself and a referral partner or yourself and a person you subcontracted work from. You just need to have other people seeing that you're actively helping people, you're actively moving, you're actively growing your business. Now, some people say, Bryce, why can't I just have like a written testimonial? Like on my website, I can just put like a written testimonial. Well, because in a lot of cases, people don't necessarily believe written testimonials as much what they used to. Like you can have like a Google review or like a Facebook review, but a lot of times those don't really get as much like respect or recognition as what they used to. Because if you ever like go and download like a new website template for like Wix or like Squarespace, they oftentimes have like some kind of like testimonial, like pre-made testimonial box. So it's like anyone can put whatever they want for the testimonial. So it's just like, is it really real, or is it really effective? You'd rather get it where it's a real person someone can see. Now, if you can't get a testimonial interview, you might want to do maybe like a testimonial podcast where neither of you are on screen, but people can hear your voice and can kind of get a feel into what it is already like to work with you. An additional proof mechanism that you can have is a letter of recommendation. Okay, so this is slightly different because you can actually get the letter of recommendation, get the signature, and get the phone number, the names. It's not the same as putting it on your website where anyone can just type it in. Generally, they're going to be calling the people who gave the letter of recommendation, so there's a little bit more trust that's built in there. The next one you can use, the next mechanism is references. Have you ever had an old employer that really liked you? Did you have maybe a CPA or another bookkeeper that really liked you? Did you have another company? Do you have a client? Like, who can you get to be a reference for you, so that if the business owner is kind of on the fence about whether or not you're going to do a good job, you can have that business owner call that person. That person will actually, sell for you. Now, if you could get a CPA who you've maybe subcontracted work from in the past, or maybe you've helped in the past, so they've referred people to you, that actually is the easiest way to get a reference, because the CPA is so used to selling monthly, and if you're a bookkeeper, they're used to selling that work. So it's really easy. They know exactly what to say to push those buttons to get the person to want to work with you. So that's why you need to be able to start doing that, okay? Because it's one thing to have your price. It's another thing to be able to get your foot in the door. And it's a third thing to be able to have proof. Proof that you can deliver on your claims. Proof that you're not going to screw up the books. Proof that you're actually who you say you are. Proof that you're not going to be like a fly-by-night person who's gone after like a month and a half. Right? Because if you want to start getting these higher clients, like, you need to make sure they know that you're going to be around 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years from now, and you're still going to be in the game being able to help them out. Because if they don't think you are, they think you're just trying this stuff out, they aren't going to let you come on. Like, and they can just kind of smell that a mile away. The final thing that we're going to talk about is you need to have your story straight. Okay? Now, when I say you need to have your story straight, you need to know exactly what are you going to be talking to the business owner when they say, so, tell me about yourself. If you don't know what to say, if you get caught like a deer in the headlights, oftentimes it's going to really lower your credibility. You need to know exactly who you help, how you help, why someone should work with you, why someone, should move if they're on the fence now, and also why should they choose you versus all the other people down the street, because there's a lot of people that are going to be cheaper than you. If you're pricing right, there's a lot of people who will be cheaper than you. Why should someone go with you? As soon as you can start answering those questions, and as soon as you can start laying out that elevator pitch, it becomes very simple for you to be able to get clients, because you don't have that chink in your armor. Oftentimes when someone asks you that question, they're just testing you to see, like, do you have an answer? Do you actually know who you are? Do you know why you're doing this? If you can get that and you can be like straight up and they know exactly like why you're here, you're going to get a lot of those clients that just sign up with you just because. Now, if you want a resource about how to go and develop your story and develop your elevator pitch, go ahead and write down #elevator pitch, and I'll actually send you a resource about the elevator pitch. #elevator pitch, and I will actually send that to you, so you know exactly what to say when somebody kind of hits you with that. Tell me about yourself. Who are you? Tell me about yourself. Why should I work with you? Hey, why is it so much money? You need to know, you need to have a rebuttal. Okay? Hopefully this has been good, guys. So you understand pricing. You need to have pricing flexibility by not putting the price on your website. Number 2, you need to understand that pricing is just in your head. It's not a real thing. It doesn't matter. You can say whatever price you want within reason, as long as you can kind of justify based on the scope. Number 3, you got to make sure that you have the ability to get the foot inside of the door when you're talking to a bigger company to start building that trust. 4, you need to make sure you have some sort of proof or social proof aspect or element that you can kind of put inside of your marketing process so that the business owners actually understand that you can help them out. And then lastly, you got to make sure your story is straight so that when the person asks you, hey, tell me about yourself. You know exactly what to respond with so that you end up getting the work. Now, hopefully this video has been very helpful for you. If you want some help growing your business, you want to avoid a lot of mistakes that you hear other people make, and you want to make sure you can reach your goal in the shortest, fastest time period possible, go ahead and click on the link inside the description below to book a call with me. And on that call, we're just going to talk about, hey, where are you right now? Where do you want to go? If I think it can help, I'm just going to outline what the program looks like, how we're actually going to get you to your goal, and if we're both in alignment, we can work together long term. Awesome. I see Jessica typed in elevator pitch, so I'm going to send Jessica the elevator pitch formula pretty soon, and I'm super excited for you guys. Book a call. Can't wait to help you out. Talk to you soon. See you later. Have a great rest of your week. I'll talk to you later.